All right, folks, we're here at Liam's house in his garage. This is one of those things that you need adult supervision to do. So he's going to be helping me, or really taking apart my transmission. I'm going to be watching, and we're going to get these parts sent out to Liberty, and they're going to work their magic on them. All right, so we're taking things apart. This is the top cover. Not super familiar with what I'm looking at here, but apparently these are the shift pads. And as you can see, this one here is worn out a little bit. It's got a crack going on there, and then we've got one here that it's basically destroyed. But I don't know, I guess these just make it nicer to shift. So these are still functional, but we're going to replace all of these little plastic bits. And apparently the plastic ones are better than the metal ones that you can buy, so we're going to replace these with more plastic ones. And then inside the transmission, there's all the gears and sliders,
synchros,
there's gold gears and slanted gears and straight gears.
Synchros.
I know a lot about transmissions, so pay attention. And but yeah, anyways, the gears, they all look good, so we're not gonna have to replace any of these. And we're gonna go ahead and keep taking this thing apart.
Many months later.
Alright guys, it's been almost 3 months since the last frame that you guys saw, and this thing is finally back to us, and we're going to go ahead and pull it open and see what they've done to my gears. Alright, so the folks over at Liberty did an awesome job packing this thing up, so we're going to take a look. First thing, they sent me a bunch of stickers, so I really appreciate that. That's going to go on the toolbox, on the skateboard, on the car, which you can't see, and wherever else I can find to stick them. So I like getting stickers with my stuff. This is the top cover. I'm not 100% sure what they changed on this. They did have to make some kind of modifications. I have no idea what it is. I can see that these look like new shift pads right here. The bronze shift pads. These are not the best ones that you can get. Strangely enough, the plastic ones are actually better than these. Somehow the plastic ones actually last longer than these. I don't know how it works. Not 100% sure if I'm going to keep these, but I'm going to do a little bit of research and see what I decide. Don't bother telling me which one to get, because by the end of this video, this is going to be in the car, and it's going to be a done deal. So I'm just going to go on Google tonight and figure out whether I'm going to keep these bronze pads or not. Alright guys, so I'm going to do my best to explain what we've got going on here, what I actually got modified on this transmission, and what that's going to do for me. So basically what I chose to do is to get second, third, and fourth gear dog ringed. So this is the dog ring assembly right here. And what that's going to allow me to do is basically shift faster. So the TKO basically has issues with shifting at high RPMs, especially in third gear. And that's highly annoying for any kind of racing applications, especially for what I do. So there's different modifications and stuff that you can make, but I wanted to go the dog ring route. That's the most race car thing out there, and I just think it's really cool. It's really solid. It can hold a lot of power. You can shift clutchless. That's a really bad idea to shift wide open without a clutch, but you know, you got to be smart with anything that you have. So anyways, so the reason I chose to do second, third, and fourth gear is because I really don't need it for first, because you put it in first gear when you're stopped, and I don't have to quickly shift into first or downshift into first. Second gear is good because that's the first gear that you go into after you pull off. Third gear is the most problematic gear in a TKO, and for what I do, I'm between second and third all the time, so those are the most beneficial ones. I did not want fourth gear dog ringed, but unfortunately you have to do them in pairs, and second gear is paired to third gear inside the transmission, so I had to get fourth gear done as well, which is going to be really annoying for street driving the car, but more on that later. So anyways, the way that it works is on a regular synchro, you've got this thing here, it's got all these teeth on it, and you push the clutch in, and when you start, so when you push your clutch in and you push the stick forward or back, you're actually causing this ring to engage with this ring, and that's what allows the gear to get up to speed. That's why they call it a synchro. I can't really explain it much better than that, because that's about as good as I understand it. So when you miss a gear or you don't shift right and you hear that grinding noise, that's actually these teeth right here not meshing with these teeth. This is the actual gear right here. These guys are always engaged at all times. They're always touching the next gear. So you're not actually grinding the gears of your transmission, you're grinding the synchros. So with the dog rings, that's this setup right here. Instead of having those little tiny synchro teeth, you've got these big fingers sticking off of here. And when you jam this thing into gear, boom, it catches. that's how it engages the gears. So that's a lot stronger, and it goes in basically regardless of whatever you're doing. And just the pressure of you being on the gas or off the gas is what's holding it in there. Now the bad thing about this, what makes it annoying, is if you're sitting in traffic or coasting or whatever, this is actually slack in your drivetrain right here, which is why I didn't want fourth gear to be done like that, because I cruise around in fourth gear a lot, and every time I slow down or speed up, it's going to be doing that, which is unfortunate and really takes away from the streetability of my car. But enough explanation on that. We need to get a move on. So I'm not going to bother unboxing everything else that we've got here, just because there's no need. So we're going to put everything back in the box, and we're going to go back to Aleem's house. Alright guys, so here's another look at an actual face-plated gear. As you can see, it's TIG welded here on the top. The dogs are actually attached directly to the gear. Aleem has spoken about the brass, what do you call these things?
Shift fork pads.
Yeah, the brass shift fork pads. He said get those things off and put the plastic ones on. Apparently the brass ones like to gall up, and the plastic ones survive. So I'm going to do the extremely technical job of sticking these on, letting Aleem do the easy stuff over there, reassembling the gears and pins and bearings and stuff like that. He needs a little bit of practice, right? So, yep, get these things nice and attached, and yep, you'll see how it turns out. Alright guys, the transmission's in the car. I actually came out here at midnight last night to put this thing in, just because I'm so anxious to slam these gears. So we're getting that together. Alright guys, the car's back on the ground. Everything's buttoned up. It's going to be the first start in like 2 months. I'm super nervous right now. I don't know why I'm so nervous, but I'm like extra nervous. Like I don't even want to do this. But anyways, we're going to go ahead. We're going to start it up if it even starts, and then we're going to let it run for a while, just to let everything warm up and circulate. Also, I deleted the mufflers while we were working on it, and so the car's going to have a little bit different sound once it hits the street. So after we let this guy warm up, we're going to go for a little drive. Well, the voltmeter should have come on, so don't know what's going on there. We probably don't have any power right now. I didn't even hear the fuel pump come on. I think the battery's dead, guys. Alright guys, we're up and running. Having a really weird issue with my fuel pump. It just wouldn't come on. And I checked all my wiring, of course, and everything was normal. And I actually physically put jumper cables to my fuel pump, and it took a couple of taps, but then it kicked on. The car still didn't really want to start, so either my fuel pump is dying or I'm missing something. So this is the part where the experts go down in the comments and let me know what you think about my fuel pump issues before I invest in another one. But I'm kind of really curious. I've never had to jump start a fuel pump, so it's running the way that it's supposed to now. Everything's wired back up, but yeah, I had to physically put jumper cables to my fuel pump to loosen it up or whatever was going on. So gonna let the car run for a little while, get all warmed back up, and then we're gonna try and take a ride around the block. Hopefully the fuel pump doesn't quit on me. All right guys, maiden voyage. Here we go. First gear. Got the carbon fiber synchro in there. It's definitely louder inside the car. And here we go, second gear. It's the dog ring. It went in there smooth. So the thing about a dog ring transmission is you have to shift every gear like a man. There's no more slow shifting. Alright guys, we're gonna do a pull. Sorry for the camera angle. That's the best we got right now. Guys, that was 50% throttle. Maybe about 4,000, 5,000 RPMs. It shifts awesome. So I think that's about enough for this video. We'll catch you guys on the next one.